Hi folks, I'm back to answer another question posed by Shawn here on YouTube. And the question was, which is more severe or more deadly, the nerve attacks or the blood attacks? And I want to say both. I mean, it depends on how hard you hit them, obviously, the body makeup of the individual that you strike, and also how you're working your method. Let's take the nerves first, okay? You strike someone on a cranial nerve and they're going to have a big problem with it if they get hit very hard. Not only going to cause concussion, the body's going to weaken so much, you're going to cause severe disruptions in the neck, spinal cord, and if you pinch off, like say, the phrenic nerve, the person's going to stop breathing. Now, if you don't know revivals, you got a big problem right there. But there's other things you can hit. You could hit right at the base of the brainstem. That could be a potentially lethal shot, like that back knuckle coming up straight from Nahanchi kata. Okay, that could be a killing blow to some person. It depends on, again, the power involved, the intent involved, it also the physical makeup of the recipient. You take the blood vessels. Blood vessels can also be deadly. It could take a lot longer. I mean, if you say you tear the femoral artery, it's going to cause massive hemorrhaging and bleeding and internal. It's going to cause all sorts of problems. Yes, the person could die from a bleed out if you ruptured that severely enough. You could also cause something called gangrene, which is an upcoming Friday blog that I'm putting out on the black tiger. And these are serious health issues, and they can cause death, whether they're instant or they're delayed by a couple minutes, a couple hours, a couple days, a couple weeks, a couple months, whatever. All right, you strike someone in the temple, for example, and split the meningeal artery underneath. That's going to cause a big problem, and rather quickly. You cut someone at the carotid sinus, or you hurt the heart in some way. Yeah, that's going to be lethal too. It causes more damage is what it is, because to affect the blood system, if you stop the blood flow, that's one thing. But what you need to do to cause major damage or life-threatening type of situation is you have to actually tear that tissue. Now, on the nerves are a little more resilient than the blood vessels or the blood organs, so they take a lot more pressure to attack, but they could, again, have lethal qualities. You don't have to damage the nerve, you just have to shock it badly enough. Of course, if you strike, say, the base of the skull at the brain stem, and you hit that hard enough to cause a fatality, well, they probably would have died anyway, just from the rupture, the breaking of the spine, and dislocation of the neck and the head and the neck. So there's lots of different ramifications on that too, not just the neurological shock. But people die in car accidents a lot because of neurological shock or blood trauma, hematoma, and situations like that. So I wouldn't place my thinking on too much on which one is better or more deadly, depending on how you're looking at it. I would do it on what's more applicable for my personality, my personal style. What can I get to? What can I affect the best? What do I have the best track record and experience with? And that's what you go to practicing your martial art. Which one's deadlier? You really don't want to kill anybody. Imagine killing someone. That's going to be on your conscience for the rest of your life. So what you want to do in a self-defense situation is get out with the least amount of harm to that individual as possible. And in that aspect, I would say the nerves are your best bet. All right, they don't leave any marks. They don't leave permanent damage if you just strike them with enough force to drop the person. But if you go to the blood and you hit them with the same amount of force, you're probably going to get black and bluing. Like, say, you punch someone in the eye, they get the black eye. That's just blood underneath the skin. So you're going to get that kind of evidence. And when they take you to court or they call the police, you have that evidence. I'd rather do the nerve striking, which is cleaner, leaves no marks, has a great effect, and all the guy's going to do is wake up with either nausea or headache, or both. And that's just a lesson learned, rather than physically damaging the guy so he's impaired and can't take a hair of his family, friends, himself, okay, and becomes a burden to society. So you really got to weigh the consequences. The reason I'm talking about the blood and the attacks and the possibilities is to give you the tradition, the heritage, the background to discern what is the MOC or the blood attacks, what is the nerve attacks. It's part of your education. Doesn't mean you go out and you use it. Okay, again, for practicality, attack the nerves. For a deeper sense of the art, yes, play with the bloods because it's great to know. And a person that's more resilient on a nerve attack wouldn't be as resilient to the blood because there's no protections. The neurological systems do have a set of protections on it. The blood systems really don't, except for the structure, body structure around and protecting them. So if you know how to bypass those with the specific hand positions, 6G hands of the Shaolin method, and you're able to reach those and you have a great effect. So if one doesn't work, you switch to the other. If that doesn't work, you just punch them and kick them like you used to do. All right, so no loss for the education there. All right, you just try what you can as easy as you can so you can get out of a situation safe, unscathed, and not damage that other individual to have on your conscience for the rest of your life. So I hope that answers that question, Shawn. I know it was off on a little bit more than you probably asked, but that's the way it rolls. All right, thanks for watching, folks. Be back tomorrow.